Hello, lovely listeners. Welcome back to our podcast where we dive deep into the fascinating world of current affairs. I'm Hari, and as always, I'm joined by the ever-insightful Leela.
Hey there, everyone. I hope you're all ready for an exciting ride today because we've got a jam-packed episode lined up for you.
That's right, Leela. Today, we're going to explore a plethora of thought-provoking articles that touch on a variety of critical issues. We'll be delving into the history of Devadasis in Mysore, Trump's recent actions impacting academic freedom, the challenges of public sector reliance on consultancy firms, the dark side of Insta-commerce exploitation, recent discoveries about the accessibility of water ice on the moon, and the complex dynamics of the Balochistan unrest.
Woo, that's quite the lineup we have today, Hari. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to unpack each of these topics with all of you. Get ready for a longer episode where we'll really sink our teeth into these pressing issues.
Absolutely, Leela. So, grab your favorite beverage, find a comfy spot, and join us on this enlightening journey through the latest news and developments. Let's get started. Article 1. So, Leela, the history of the Devadasis in Mysore is quite fascinating. The system dates back to the 8th century, where young girls were dedicated to temples to perform various services. It's intriguing how this practice evolved over the centuries.
Absolutely, Hari. One interesting fact is how opposition to the Devadasi system grew significantly in the 19th century. Regressive practices, colonial influence, and the anti-Nach movement all played a role in challenging this age-old tradition.
The abolition of the Devadasi system in Mysore by administrative fiat in 1908-1909 marked a significant shift. Mysore was one of the earliest regions in southern India to take this step, signaling a change in societal norms.
The decline in the social status of Devadasis, starting in the 18th century, eventually led to the abolishment of the system. It's fascinating to see how legislative changes like the infant marriage regulation in 1894 and granting property rights to Hindu women in 1933 played a crucial role in transforming the economic and social status of Devadasis.
Moving on to the current relevance and applications of this topic, Leela, how do you think this historical context impacts our world today?
Well, Hari, the legacy of the Devadasi system still resonates in modern discussions around gender equality, women's rights, and cultural practices. We see echoes of these historical struggles in contemporary movements advocating for the empowerment of marginalized communities.
Absolutely, Leela. The transition from the Devadasi system to a more sanitized form of dance highlights the ongoing evolution of cultural norms and practices. It's essential to recognize the impact of historical events on our present-day perspectives.
When we consider the challenges and controversies surrounding this topic, Hari, one can't ignore the debates on cultural preservation versus social progress. How do we balance respecting traditions with advancing gender equality and human rights?
It's a delicate balance, Leela. While tradition holds significance, it's crucial to adapt to changing societal values and ensure the protection of vulnerable communities. Perhaps a nuanced approach that honors the cultural heritage while addressing the harmful aspects of certain traditions could be a way forward.
Looking towards the future, Hari, I believe there will be continued efforts to redefine cultural practices in a more inclusive and equitable manner. The lessons learned from the history of Devadasis in Mysore can guide us in shaping a more just society for all.
Definitely, Leela. As society progresses, it's essential to reflect on our past to inform a more equitable and compassionate future. The journey from the Devadasi system to its abolition teaches us valuable lessons about the intersection of culture, tradition, and social change. Article 2. So, Leela, let's dive into this fascinating article about Trump's assault on academic freedom. It's quite alarming how the administration's actions have been impacting universities and intellectual discourse.
Absolutely, Hari. The 1960s and 1970s marked a significant shift in academia, with the rise of counter-Western narratives challenging the dominant Western master narratives. This period saw a push for diversity of thought and perspectives in academic spaces.
That's right. And fast forward to today, Trump's administration is being criticized for undermining this progress by defunding courses that oppose right-wing ideologies and targeting Palestinian students and their supporters.
It's concerning how the rise of far-right ideology is threatening academic freedom and intellectual dissent. The crackdown on Palestinian sympathizers and the travel ban have had a real impact on universities and international students.
The silencing of dissent on campuses not only poses a threat to democracy, but also to free speech and human rights. Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric seems to be part of a broader narrative that rejects globalization in favor of nationalism.
It's a complex issue with widespread implications. In today's world, the need to advocate for progressive values and challenge discriminatory policies is more crucial than ever to foster a culture of resistance and critical thinking.
Absolutely, Leela. The challenges and controversies surrounding this topic are multifaceted. Some argue that universities should remain neutral ground for all perspectives, while others emphasize the importance of protecting marginalized voices.
Finding a balance between academic freedom and political influence is indeed a challenge. However, promoting dialogue and understanding diverse viewpoints can be a step towards addressing these controversies.
Looking ahead, it will be interesting to see how academia evolves in response to these challenges. Will scholars and intellectuals continue to push back against oppressive policies, fostering a more inclusive and diverse academic environment?
Indeed, Hari. The future outlook seems to hinge on how individuals within academia and society at large navigate these turbulent times. By promoting open dialogue, advocating for marginalized voices, and challenging oppressive systems, we can strive towards a more equitable future for all.
Article 3. So, Leela, let's dive into this article about the pitfalls of public sector reliance on consultancy firms. It seems like BSNL's hefty investment in the Boston Consulting Group raised quite a few eyebrows.
Absolutely, Hari. It's interesting how the article highlights the growing trend of public sectors globally, including in India, turning to external consultancy firms for strategic guidance. This reliance can sometimes lead to issues surrounding accountability and the ability of these firms to deliver successful outcomes for public projects.
And let's not forget the concerns raised about how over-reliance on external expertise can hinder a state's ability to innovate and manage its enterprises effectively. It's like outsourcing critical decision-making processes, which can have long-term consequences.
It's a delicate balance for sure. On one hand, these consultancy firms bring in specialized knowledge and experience, but on the other hand, there's the risk of them prioritizing profit over the public service mandate, potentially compromising the quality of service in public enterprises like BSNL.
That's a valid point. The article suggests that investing in strengthening internal capabilities of public sector institutions might be a more sustainable approach in the long run. Building that expertise from within could lead to more self-reliance and better outcomes for these organizations.
It's like the age-old saying, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. By empowering public sector institutions to develop their skills and strategies internally, they become more self-sufficient and less reliant on external entities whose motivations might not always align with the public interest.
Exactly, Leela. And looking at the current scenario, with the increasing scrutiny on public spending and the need for transparent governance, it's crucial for governments worldwide to reassess their reliance on consultancy firms in the public sector. The case of BSNL serves as a wake-up call to reevaluate the governance models in place.
It's a complex issue with no easy solutions. While consultancy firms can bring valuable insights, there's also the risk of conflicts of interest and a loss of public sector legitimacy. Finding that balance between leveraging external expertise and nurturing internal capabilities will be key to ensuring the long-term success of public sector enterprises.
Absolutely, Leela. As we move forward, it will be interesting to see how governments adapt their approaches to managing public sector projects. Perhaps we'll witness a shift towards more collaborative models that combine external expertise with internal development strategies to drive innovation and sustainable growth.
The future of governance in the public sector is definitely something to keep an eye on. It's a dynamic landscape with evolving challenges and opportunities, and the decisions made today will shape the way public services are delivered tomorrow. Exciting times ahead, for sure.
Couldn't agree more, Leela. It's essential for governments to be proactive in addressing these issues to ensure the best outcomes for their citizens and the overall well-being of society. The path ahead may be challenging, but with the right strategies in place, we can navigate these pitfalls and pave the way for a more efficient and effective public sector. Article 4. So, Leela, let's dive into this eye-opening article about the dark reality of Insta-commerce exploitation. It really sheds light on the challenges faced by gig workers in today's digital age.
Absolutely, Hari. The comparison made in the article between gig platforms and a virtual labor auction is quite striking. It's like workers are being auctioned off digitally with little regard for their rights or well-being.
It's disturbing how these platforms offer work at such low wages, often without any social security benefits or the ability to collectively bargain for better conditions. And what's worse is that the founders of these platforms often market their services as empowering, masking the exploitation that's actually taking place.
It's a classic case of wolves in sheep's clothing, Hari. By presenting themselves as champions of the gig economy, these founders are essentially hindering legislative efforts to protect workers who are increasingly vulnerable in this setup.
The lack of protection for gig workers is a serious issue that needs to be addressed. The gig economy, which was supposed to offer flexibility and opportunities, has instead become a breeding ground for exploitation and modern slavery.
It's a harsh reality that many individuals are facing today, Hari. These workers are often desperate for jobs and end up in precarious situations with little to no support. It's high time we expose this hypocrisy and push for concrete measures to safeguard the rights of gig workers.
Absolutely, Leela. Just recently, there have been numerous cases where gig workers have spoken out about the lack of job security, low pay, and the absence of benefits like healthcare or paid leave. These platforms have revolutionized industries, but at a cost to the workers who power them.
The gig economy has become a dominant force in sectors like transportation, delivery services, and freelance work. While it offers convenience to consumers, it often comes at the expense of the laborers who keep these platforms running.
Shining a light on the challenges and controversies surrounding gig work is crucial. While some argue that these platforms provide much-needed flexibility, others point out the exploitation and lack of rights that come with it. Finding a balance between innovation and worker protection is key.
It's a complex issue, Hari. The gig economy isn't going away anytime soon, so it's essential to find ways to ensure that workers are treated fairly and have access to basic labor rights. Perhaps implementing regulations that hold platforms accountable for the treatment of their workers could be a step in the right direction.
Looking towards the future, Leela, it will be interesting to see how technology continues to shape the gig economy. Innovations like AI and automation could further impact the nature of work in these platforms, potentially exacerbating the challenges faced by gig workers.
Definitely, Hari. As technology advances, we need to stay vigilant and ensure that progress doesn't come at the cost of human rights and dignity. It's up to us as a society to advocate for fair treatment and just working conditions for all, especially those in vulnerable positions within the gig economy.
Well said, Leela. It's a complex issue that requires a concerted effort from all stakeholders to create a more equitable and just future of work in the digital age. Let's hope that we can move towards a more balanced and fair system for all workers involved in these platforms. Article 5. So, Leela, let's dive into this fascinating article about the accessibility of water ice on the moon. It's incredible to think about the potential implications this discovery could have for future space exploration.
Absolutely, Hari. The idea that water ice might be more readily available on the moon than we previously thought opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Did you know that water ice is not only essential for sustaining life, but can also be broken down into oxygen and hydrogen for fuel? It's like finding a cosmic gas station up there.
That's a great way to put it, Leela. The fact that this study challenges the notion that water ice is only concentrated at the moon's poles really shifts our understanding of how we can utilize resources in space. It's like uncovering a hidden treasure trove just waiting to be explored.
Definitely, Hari. And when we think about the current relevance of this discovery, it's not just about scientific curiosity. Imagine the implications for future space missions. Having accessible water ice on the moon could significantly reduce the cost and complexity of sending supplies from Earth. It's like having a pit stop for spacecraft right in our cosmic backyard.
Absolutely, Leela. And let's not forget the potential for establishing a sustainable human presence on the moon. With a vital resource like water ice more widely available, the possibility of setting up long-term habitats or even using the moon as a stepping stone for further space exploration becomes much more feasible. It's like opening up a new chapter in our journey beyond Earth.
That's a great point, Hari. However, it's essential to acknowledge the challenges and controversies that come with this discovery. One key debate could revolve around the ethical use of resources in space. How do we ensure that the extraction of water ice on the moon is done responsibly and sustainably without causing harm to its environment or future exploration efforts?
You're right, Leela. Balancing scientific progress with environmental stewardship will be crucial as we move forward. Perhaps implementing strict regulations and international collaboration could help address these concerns. It's vital to approach this newfound resource with caution and foresight to ensure its long-term viability.
Looking ahead, Hari, I can't help but wonder about the exciting innovations and changes that could stem from this discovery. From developing new technologies for extracting and utilizing water ice to potentially revolutionizing our approach to space exploration, the possibilities seem endless. Who knows, maybe in the future, a lunar vacation won't be as far-fetched as it sounds today.
Absolutely, Leela. The future of space exploration is looking brighter with each new discovery. And as we continue to unravel the mysteries of our cosmic neighborhood, it's thrilling to think about the ways in which these findings could impact not just scientists and astronauts, but all of us here on Earth. The universe truly holds endless surprises for us to uncover. Article 6. So, Leela, the recent article on the Unrest in Balochistan sheds light on the complex dynamics at play in that region.
Absolutely, Hari. Balochistan has a long history of insurgency and discontent, with various armed groups like the Balochistan Liberation Army fighting for their causes.
It's interesting to note how these groups have different agendas, ranging from tribal loyalties to opposition against projects like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC.
The CPEC has been a major point of contention, with concerns over resource exploitation and the impact on local communities. It's not just about infrastructure development, it's about who benefits from it.
And let's not forget the regional complexities at play here. Limited international support and geopolitical shifts can either support or hinder the Baloch independence movement.
Pakistan's internal dynamics also play a crucial role. The lack of popular support for the military-civilian leadership highlights the need for decentralized power sharing to address the underlying causes of discontent.
Moving on to the current relevance of this topic, Leela, we can see how similar issues of neglect and unrest exist in many regions around the world.
That's right, Hari. The struggle for autonomy and fair resource distribution is a universal theme. We can draw parallels to other movements striving for self-determination and justice.
The challenges and controversies surrounding this topic are vast. On one hand, there are concerns about violence and instability. On the other, there are debates on how best to address the grievances of marginalized groups.
Finding a balance between security measures and addressing the root causes of the conflict is crucial. It's a delicate tightrope walk that requires thoughtful consideration and action.
Looking ahead, Leela, what do you think the future holds for Balochistan and regions facing similar challenges?
Well, Hari, the key will be in how governments and communities navigate these issues. Perhaps increased dialogue, investment in local infrastructure, and genuine efforts to address grievances could pave the way for a more stable and prosperous future.
It's a complex situation, no doubt. And as we've seen, the resolution of such conflicts can have far-reaching implications, not just for the people directly involved, but for the broader region as well.
Definitely, Hari. The path forward will require empathy, understanding, and a commitment to finding peaceful solutions to long-standing grievances. Let's hope for a brighter future for Balochistan and all regions facing similar challenges.
Conclusion. As we wrap up today's episode, let's reflect on the diverse range of topics we've explored together.
Absolutely, Hari. From the intricate history of Devadasis in Mysore to the pressing issues of academic freedom and the complexities of consultancy in the public sector, we've delved into some thought-provoking discussions.
And let's not forget shedding light on the exploitative practices of Insta-commerce, the exciting discovery of water ice on the moon, and the deep-seated unrest in Balochistan.
It's clear that these articles have given us plenty to ponder on. They remind us of the importance of staying informed and engaged with the world around us.
So, to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to continue exploring these topics, to question, to learn, and to seek understanding.
Thank you for tuning in today. Your support means the world to us. And remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Feel free to reach out, share your thoughts, and keep the dialogue going.
Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay kind. We'll be back soon with more fascinating articles to dissect and discuss. Until then, take care and keep those curious minds buzzing.
Bye for now, everyone.